Awesome. All right. Welcome to Your Business, Your Flow, a free sneak peek. Little peek behind the veil, so to speak. In this webinar, I want to share with you what an actual YBYF class looks like and to show you kind of the magic behind it. And I know that the idea of your period being powerful and helpful for your business sounds a little bit crazy, and I get that, but it's not. It's actually super rooted in science, hence my science glasses. Just kidding, I just got them, I'm really excited. I'm gonna throw on a mic here. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me a little bit clearer, less echoey. Okay, so let's get started. Welcome to YBYF. I am your host, Stasha Washburn, and I'm going to share with you today an actual class from Your Business, Your Flow. And in fact, I'm going to share with you one of the classes that most people think are, I'm going to tell them to just sit and don't do anything, and that's my magic tip. And I want to just blow your mind and blow your mind just out of the water with how really juicy your period can actually be. All right. So obviously I get the question fairly often as to why I am not something else. So I call myself the period coach when I'm teaching a program that's actually how to use your period for your business. And I should probably call myself something a little bit more business oriented, like the Fempreneur coach or the Lady Boss coach or something to that effect. And here's the thing. I don't consider myself so much a business coach as I do a woman coach. And we've been so programmed in our lives to come at everything from this masculine approach, 4-hour workday, or how to do everything according to your timer, or time management programs where it's like at 9 a.m. you get up, from 9 to 9:30 you meditate, from 9:30 to 10 you make breakfast, from 10 to 11 you eat breakfast, from 11 until noon you do social media, from noon until 1 you do blog posts, and it's every single day. And we also come from this very masculine approach of pushing. I mean, I get it, sperm push. They're genetically programmed to push through, but we're eggs. We're just supposed to sit back and let it come to us. We are supposed to receive, and we have been taught how not to receive. We have been taught that we need to give and give and give and give until it hurts and then give some more. And in fact, what we should be doing is sitting back, letting our cup runneth over, and let that running over spill upon our people. To let our joy and our love just spill out onto the rest of our people, our tribe, our world, everyone else. But we are coming from this place of giving when we have nothing left to give. We run our businesses the same way. Give away, give away, give away, give away. And I know it sounds a little hypocritical because I give away a crap ton of stuff all the time. But that's okay, because I'm coming from a place where I have a really solid, amazing, paid program, plural. There's a few of them, and they're awesome. So why wouldn't I give away some amazing, incredible stuff? Because I'm coming from a place of where my cup runneth over. And I personally have a life vision statement. This is something we do in YBYF. We make our life vision statements. My life vision statement is to end the taboo around menstruation, to empower women with their menstrual cycles, and to show them that they have power every single day of the week, no matter what phase they're in. If that's my life vision, how am I going to do that if I'm constantly putting this like $2,000 price tag on everything and nobody can get into anything, right? So there's a beautiful balance between yin and yang, and there's a beautiful balance in you between yin and yang. But unfortunately, we are so busy pushing and in that yang space that we're never making room for the yin. The way I teach is that both are very important and they both have their time and their place, and I teach that with our cycle. So if you were with me yesterday for my webinar all about the divine feminine and the Tao, we talked very heavily about how the yin can be actually the more powerful for an opponent, and how actually allowing somebody to just come in can be their own defeat. And we spoke about it from this place of self-preservation, protecting, just being a woman walking down the street and how to do that safely. But that goes for work and business as well. If you build it and you put it out there and you let it, you push it out, just like you're gonna push a baby out, you push it out. But then at some point you have to sit back and let it do its thing. And at some point you have to sit back and let them come to you. Be the egg, not the sperm. Be eggy. Lisa Rankin actually said that, and I thought it was pure genius. So quotes and credit to her for being freaking amazing. So let's bring the feminine into your business. Let's tap into the blood, into the earth, into the ground, into what makes you truly and uniquely you. That messy, bloody magic that you have, that you could be using every single day of the year, every single month, every single day. I want to empower you from the ground up with this class today and bring you boldly into yourself. And at the end of this 3-part series, I'm going to give away some pretty awesome stuff. So keep an eye out for your emails, because I'm going to go at the end of this and look to see who watched the whole webinar. And I'm going to send an email to one of you for a one-on-one call with me. So keep an eye out on your emails. Okay, so let's talk about how your period is actually powerful. And I want to start you off with this idea that no matter where you are in your period, no matter if it's good or bad, if it's painful or not, if it's moody or not, if you get headaches or not, whatever it is, it's a sign that you're out of a balance, but that you can get back into balance. And I want you to know that I had the absolute worst periods ever under the sun. Terrible. And not only did I have bad periods, but because I had bad periods, I had totally drained my adrenals. I had totally shot my reproductive hormones, and my thyroid went next. I was sleeping 20 hours a day. I would get my period, and even on birth control, even with prescribed narcotics, I also was in such pain that I would spend 48 to 72 hours in the bathroom throwing up because the pain was just so bad. I also had every symptom that you get with food poisoning, except for 3 days of it, not just like food poisoning, which ends within 12 hours. That's how you know the difference between the stomach flu and food poisoning. P.S. Food poisoning ends in 12 hours. Stomach flu is 24 or longer. Or in my case, you got your period once a month and you had the worst food poisoning you could ever imagine for 3 days, and you just wanted to die because the pain was so bad and the migraine was so bad and you were crying in the bathtub and you passed out in public. Nothing like passing out in high school English class to wake up in the nurse's office not knowing what just happened. And that's actually how I decided ending the taboo around this was my calling in life, because I couldn't tell people what happened to me. And as soon as I did, they'd be like, oh, that's disgusting. Oh, don't talk about that. Nobody wants to know about that. No one cares about your period. And I was like, but I passed out in public, and that's a problem, but we can't talk about the problem. So how am I ever going to stop passing out? Like, am I going to be on the subway coming home and pass out? Which I did. Just throwing that out there, hugging the subway pole on, I want to say, the B line coming home one day, and I actually passed out. And thank God it was a really busy subway day, and there were people all around me, and I didn't fall down because there's no place to fall down. So I guess, yay, New York City subway system during rush hour. But that being said, that's not okay. And no matter where you are, there is a way to balance your hormones. There is a way to feel better. There is a way to feel much more empowered and clear-headed and not as fatigued and not as exhausted and not as moody. All of these things are a sign of hormonal imbalance. This is why your period is so powerful. Think about it. when you evolved as a woman, you were running from a rival tribe, right? You're running away. You're taking the kids and the stuff and as much as you can, and you're running. And your body shuts down your hormones, your reproductive hormones, because you're busy. You're surviving. You can't get pregnant right now. But when you're out of that stressful situation, your hormones are supposed to come back into balance. If you're having a really bad period, you're not having a birth control deficiency. You're not. That's not the problem. You don't have too little birth control in your body. That's not the answer. The fact is that there's something going on. There's something wrong. There's something out of whack. There's a hormonal imbalance going on in there. And the problem is not being dealt with because the Band-Aid of birth control is being put on top of it. That's not going to work out. Eventually, something else is going to shut down, like my thyroid shut down for me. I was on birth control. I was on narcotics. I was in high school, for God's sakes. And by the time I hit college, my thyroid just stopped working. It was like, fuck this. I can't do it anymore. I don't know what else you want from me, but I can't do it. And just stopped working. So I slept for 20 hours a day. That's not normal. And that first of all, had this not been the 90s, had I known that birth control as a Band-Aid makes everything worse because you're not fixing the problem, I probably wouldn't have had my thyroid shut off. Now, it's years later, and I'm on no medications, and I'm not sleeping 20 hours a day, and I have a very happy, joyous period every month. So had I known that, I could have fixed it much earlier and not gone through so many traumatic events, but here we are, and yay. So we're celebrating how we got here. But that being said, your period is super powerful because it shows you when you're out of balance. You need to be in balance. All right, so how does that apply to your business? This is a very good question, and we're going to dive in and talk about it. I want you to know that I base my business, your flow course off of scientific studies, as well as ancient ritual and tradition. And just like yesterday, we talked about how the meridians were once just the thing of woo-woo quack doctors. Now we have the science to see the energy channels in the body. Now we have the science to see the power in our period. And just to show you an example, in a study, 2 studies actually, conducted by Dr. Doreen Kimura, a psychology professor at the University of Western Ontario, along with her graduate student, Elizabeth Hampson, they found that women performed better on tasks involving verbal skill or muscular coordination when estrogen levels were high than they did when the levels were low. By contrast, women were better on tasks involving spatial relationships when estrogen was low than when the levels were high. Estrogen, as you know, is the primary female sex hormone. That's not anything we didn't know, but you might not know that it fluctuates throughout the month, and it's low at the beginning of the menstrual cycle. It rises sharply just before ovulation, just about halfway through the cycle, and then it drops again. It has a little reoccurrence, and then before menstruation, it completely crashes out, which is why we feel like a shit show right before menstruation, because we get this little extra boost and then dive. And so when our hormones out of whack, often that's really boost and then really crash. Hence, we go a little crazy. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You did nothing wrong, and there is no way you would have known this had you not stumbled upon me. So awesome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Let's fix it. You need to fix it, because being able to have a happy, healthy period means you have more power and more empowerment to do what you need to do in your life. I'm guessing that you have a business that is from the deep, deep recesses of your womb, deeper than your heart. You really want something that's going to change the world, that's going to make it more beautiful, better, kinder, safer, happier, healthier, whatever it is. You can't do that if you're pushing if you're using that masculine energy all the time and you're not allowing your body to receive, attract, and be feminine. Not saying you have to go put on a skirt. I am not wearing a skirt right now. I'm wearing cargo shorts because you can't see me. So you don't have to be in a skirt. You don't have to be a girly girl to do this. You just have to allow your body and listen to her because she's telling you what she needs. You need to be able to hear her. So what does that study show us? That study shows us that our verbal skills are directly tied to our estrogen levels. It shows us that our muscular coordination is directly tied to our estrogen levels. It shows us that our spatial relationships, making graphics is a spatial relationship. Making the graphics for your website, designing your website, picking your colors, organizing your cabinets, organizing your closet. All of these things are spatial relationships. You're moving objects on a screen, or you're making a puzzle. All of these are affected by your estrogen levels. Your dreams. I have another study about dreams. There's all of these things are based upon your hormones. Estrogen, progesterone, estradiol, all of these things are part of your, even testosterone, part of your menstrual cycle that you go through all month. Before we had the taboo around menstruation, before the burning times, and if you were here for the first webinar, you heard all about that, so I'm not going to dive back into it this time. But before the Inquisition and the Malleus Maleficarum, we knew that we had a connection to a divine. We knew that during our actual period, that portal was wide open, that we were deeply connected, and we knew that we needed that time as women to connect, to gather in the red tent, the moon lodge, the hut, whatever it was in whatever culture it was. But we all did it, we all knew it, and we all spent that time incubating our genius during this time. Because we were super connected, not only to our own body, we were connected to the divine, and we were connected to each other. In the meditations that we did in the first two webinars, we spent some time envisioning our own womb space and this divine chi, light, healing energy, healing, sweeping away the cobwebs, shining light on the mystery, joyfully marinating our beautiful womb space in love. And then we connected it to all of the other beautiful womb spaces in the world. We learned that there is no time or space when we are in this space. So we knew these things beforehand, but we went through the burning times and we were physically, torturously cut off from our wisdom. We don't have that anymore. There's no reason for us to be cut off anymore. And for every person who's felt that connection being cut off, you don't have to do it anymore. The taboo exists, but I will go out there with a sword and I will cut through it for you, and you can follow behind me and be connected again. If you have a problem, you come to me and I will handle it for you. And that's how dedicated, that's how just fierce I am about this. We don't have that need to be cut off anymore. In fact, we need to be connected again. We know these things. We have the scientific basis to prove it. So if we need to get into a fight, we can come armed. And each of our phases has a different superpower. So when our estrogen is high and our verbal skills are peaking, what should we be doing? Probably our copy, right? Probably writing our sales pages, our blog posts, our podcasts, whatever it is that we're doing. When your verbal skills are peaking, maybe that should be when you're doing it, right? What do you think is going on in my cycle right now that I'm presenting 3 live webinars? Do you think I'm doing this when my estrogen is low and my verbal skills are in the crapper? No, I'm doing this when my verbal skills are at their peak and I can communicate to you with both my passion and my intellect because my estrogen is high and my verbal skills are peaking. Hello. Imagine what you could be doing if you had that power, if you knew that about your cycle and about your business. What could you be doing with that knowledge that you don't have now? Because my mind is blowing up with ideas from webinars, to networking events, to conferences, to hosting your own live events, to hosting your own things, your blog posts, your social media posts, your podcasts, your interviews on podcasts. I did something like 20 interviews this year on other people's podcasts and shows. If I got to pick my date, you damn well better believe I picked it when I was at my verbal skill peak. Although, to be fair, I also did one of my biggest webinars of my entire life with the creator of well.org, Pedram Shojai, on the second day of my period. So probably not the best time, but when Pedram says, hey, do you want to come down and do an interview in my studio? You say yes. But had this been 3 years ago when my period was still terrible and I didn't have my hormones balanced, I would have had to cancel. But I balanced my hormones. And I showed up and rocked it out. I took care of myself in the way that you need to take care of yourself. And that whole month before, I spent making sure that I was going to have one of the best periods I've ever had in my entire life, so that when I got to that interview, no matter what day I was on, I was going to be amazing and a rock star. And it was amazing and it was a rock star. So let's get into this absolute concept of how to run your business with it. So here's the class that I teach. I teach about the menstrual phase. Obviously, it's one of our 4 phases, so it's one of the things that we dive into. And during your menstrual phase, you are in your peak yin energy, which is your most eggy, your most introverted. Even if you're a crazy pants extrovert, this is your most introverted time. This is the winter of your year. So every phase of your cycle has a season, and your menstrual season is winter. This is the time that you are in that space of cocooning, nesting, hibernating, right? You're expecting me to say, don't do anything, right? You're expecting me to say, well, then you should be not doing anything. Don't get anything done in your business. Take the day off, because everyone just has time to take the day off and do nothing, right? We're not busy. We're not solopreneurs trying to be everything and wear every hat and do it all the time. You need to go home and hang out. No. In fact, your menstrual phase is the most powerful point for your business. This is the time of the destruction goddess. This is the time of Kali, of Serdwin, of the goddesses who remove the dead bodies or create the dead bodies to remove them. This is the time that you are on the dark side of the moon. This is the time of the new moon. This is the time that you know that just, it's not working. Something's not working. You cannot create if you do not have the space to create. You cannot level up if you do not make room to level up into. You cannot create a bigger, better, bolder business while hanging on desperately to what's not working. Again, this is not your fault. This is the cultural conditioning. Women do not get rid of things. We have mom purses where everything you've ever done ever is in that purse. Every mom listening to this right now could reach into their purse and pull out something of their child's. It's not theirs. It's their kids, but they have it on them just in case. You also probably have a throbbing shoulder, a bad neck, and a back that cracks regularly and is screaming for a massage right now because you're not getting rid of the crap that you no longer need. You don't need the stale Cheerios in the bottom of the bag. Get rid of them. Just like you don't need that business that wasn't working. Just like you don't need that program that never ever sold and that you're not really stoked about. Just like you don't need to have a blog if you hate blogging. I know, shocker, but you don't. Just like you don't need to be on every social platform, and in fact, you shouldn't be. Just like you don't need to be on Periscope and Blab and Facebook Live, because you don't need to be. So as a woman, you're pragmatic. You know that there are things that you need to do and there are things that you don't need to do, but we're not allowed to let go of anything. We have to have everything all of the time and be prepared all of the time. And we have to be better than our male counterparts to just prove our equality. What? No. All right. You don't. You have to do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for your business. You have to do what's best for your family. But you have to do what's best for you. Period. At the end of the day. And the only way that you're going to show just how much of a rock star you are is by doing that very thing and getting rid of the crap that no longer serves you. That is one of the most powerful things in your menstrual cycle and your period, and it's one of the best things that you can do for your business. Get rid of the crap that's holding you down and holding you back. And that means the excuses. That means the drama. That means the shitty friend that doesn't really support you. That means everything that's not working, and every excuse that you have for why it's not working has to go. There's no better time to do it than when you're in your first day of your bleed, second day of your bleed, in your menstrual cycle. We are sentimental, and I understand that, but sometimes sentimental things have to go because they're no longer serving us. We may love that ex, but that ex was not good for us. That's the reason the ex is an ex. You got to let the ex go. So we're in this time. This is our water phase, right? There's an element with every phase of the cycle, and we're in our water phase. And I really love the idea of taking the things that are no longer serving you and writing them down, or the physical things, and getting rid of it. And I love doing it with water. I love lighting it on fire and letting the river wash the ashes away. I love letting the blood flow into the ground, into the water, into the tub, down the shower drain, whatever it is. This is your time of letting things go. And your body is letting it go, right? Your body goes, we didn't have an egg. We got to get rid of this house so we can make a new one, so that we can make a new egg, so that we can have a safe place for the egg to go. But we can't have a place for the egg to go if we hold on to the old house, because it's not going to support a new egg. Like, your body knows to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. So imagine if we did this with our relationships every month, with our business every month. Just imagine how much junk we could be getting rid of and how much space we could have. We did this with our closets every month. In my program, I also teach each phase of the cycle has a key word. The menstrual phase is why. That's your key word for your menstrual phase. Your brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, actually talk to each other the most during this phase of your cycle. So what's going on right now is your two hemispheres, the synapses are firing between the two hemispheres the absolute most during this phase. So you get to be creative and logical at the same time, which makes you very objective. This is an amazing time to objectively look at what's going on and do what you need to do about it. It's a great time to think about why things aren't working. It's also a great time to think about why things are working. What's going well? What's not going well? Why? Why isn't it working? And it might be that your heart's just not in it anymore and it's time to let it go. It might be that it's not, your audience doesn't want it. Your clients don't need it. It's not something that they want or that they need. Time to let it go. Whatever the why is, time to let it go. Maybe the why is that it's working like gangbusters and I should be doing this more. You better believe that your business or your flow was a brainchild of me sitting in my menstrual phase, thinking, evolving, looking at, taking all my private client information and assembling it into what is it that they need? What it is that I love to teach? What are some of my most successful clients doing? My most successful clients were the women who own their own businesses or were the moms of kids that needed to run their house like a business. My most successful clients were the coffee shop owners, the CEOs, the women, the online entrepreneurs, which I gather most of you probably are. My most successful clients were yoga teachers, ballet bar teachers. I was a ballet bar teacher, a yoga teacher, and a Pilates teacher. So those were my most successful clients. It was because they were starting to run their business with their cycle. And we found that by doing that, their hormones actually started to come into balance. So we did some amazing hormone balancing work, and we did some amazing business work, and it was amazing how much quicker everything came together when we took both of them together. Of course, that was something that I came up with during this phase, when my brain was objective and could see all of the pieces of the puzzle and see how they fit back together into this amazing package. Now I have a signature program that is just ass-kickingly awesome, and that my students come out of feeling empowered, relieved. We just did a closing ceremony for the last group of women, and their comments were amazing, and the things that they wanted to continue doing and the things that they really saw helping them were amazing. And that's just it. Do you want to continue feeling like a beautiful, right? This is a quote we've seen around the world. Are you a beautiful freaking supernova? Do you want to be a beautiful freaking supernova? But are you trying to squish yourself into a beige pantsuit? No, that's so not you. You're not doing this because you want to sit at a desk in a cubicle working the same 9-to-5 job every day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. You're doing this because you have something to give and you want to change the world. You need to be you to do it. How are you going to do that if you're trying to do it from this masculine perspective of setting a timer and doing everything by this structured calendar? That's not going to work. So you need to have this open space and this ability to actually use these tools to your advantage. So this monthly check-in is essential, and it's essential for your business. It's essential for your business because every month you should be going back to your life vision statement, this thing that we do at the very beginning of YBYF. You should be going back to that life vision statement, and you should be looking at your business. What did you do this month? Was it in alignment with your life vision statement? Was it in alignment with your business vision statement? Was it not? If it was, how can you make it better? If it wasn't, how can you make it in alignment? If it really wasn't, let it the fuck go, right? It's the time to do it. So this monthly check-in is what keeps you on track. This is the most important part of your business. How many times have you started your workday, gotten onto Facebook to post in groups or to promote your product, and then 3 hours go by and you're like, oh my God, I'm still on Facebook? It's because you're unfocused. You're not coming back every month and checking in when that time is right to check in and actually reevaluate and set yourself up for the next month. I cannot even tell you how much I've gotten accomplished in this year by using this system from the very beginning. I mean, I've done a crap ton of podcast interviews and taught in several women's Facebook groups. I've done live stream into groups to teach classes. I just scheduled teaching a group of teenagers. A mom contacted me and said, hey, my girls, and I'll go out to my friends' girls, are all starting their menstrual cycle, and we would like you to come in and teach a class for us. Today, that was the beginning of the week. It's Wednesday now. Today I get a message from somebody asking me to come into her space that seats 30 and is beautiful and lush to teach a class there. That's not something that would have happened if I was scattered and not checking in and not honing my business every month. I wouldn't have done YBYF 3 times. I wouldn't have a Patreon that's just getting started and amazing. I wouldn't have a Facebook group that I started not even on January 1st, but in the beginning of this year that's now over 1,000 women and is divine and connected and amazing. And the women in that group are the reason that I do what I do. And it's the reason that Your Business, Your Flow is not a $2,000 program. I see those women and I listen and I check into that Facebook group constantly all day long, and I hear what they're saying and they need help, but it can't be a crazy elite price point. That's why I do what I do, and that's how I decide my price points, the people around me and the women that need it and what I can survive off of. I'm homeless, so I don't have a mortgage to pay. That's helpful. I kind of am enjoying the nomad life. But it gives me the luxury to be able to help more women than if I was trying frantically to do everything from scratch. Does that make sense? You can kind of see how that happens. So all of these accomplishments would never have been possible if I didn't spend every month when I got my period actually sitting down and going, all right, what's on my quarterly to-do list? What have I knocked out? What can I get done this month? What makes sense to get done this month? What is my Facebook group asking for? My Facebook group has been asking for a chart. I've been wanting a chart. And I finally found in my Facebook group an artist who can make it a reality. That wouldn't have happened if I wasn't looking around, listening, keeping an open, objective mind, and using the time when my brain is most objective in order to provide a service for my people, my women, my circle, right? Something else that I love to teach in YBYF is that every phase of our cycle is supported by our 6 senses. Stay with me. Your hormones stay in balance based on both internal and external influences. Your internal influences are things like the food that you eat. The food that you eat is turned into your cells, your hormones, your organs, every single thing comes from the food that you eat. So I have foods that support your hormones in every phase of your cycle. And one of the women today, who I hope is listening right now, because she's gonna just be cracking up right now. But one of the women in YBYF today said that one of the things that she's gonna stick with is eating with her cycle, because she didn't even realize it. She didn't have a craving for anything. She thought, all right, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna eat what's on this list because that's the phase I'm in, and I'm gonna see how it goes, and took 3 bites and was like, oh my God, my body wanted this so much and I had no idea. That's nourishment. That's deep body cellular level nourishment. That's the kind of nourishment that we agreed in the group today is that it could be as good as an orgasm. Though an orgasm is also good for your hormones. So why not do both? So we talk about foods. We talk about taste. We talk about sensuality. We talk about touch. So when you're in your menstrual phase of your cycle, you want to be touched, usually with warm things like a warm bath, a slow massage, like a lower back massage is just amazing during this time. You want to have deep womb healing. You want to have the chi in your hands be able to go into your womb and help release her and let that go. We learn spirit. We learn how to meditate. We learn how to control and direct our chi. We learn a meditation for helping pain, for pain relief. We learn meditations for enhancing our chi and making it bigger and better and bolder. We learn meditations for each phase of our cycle that help support our hormones through our energy in our cycle. We learn sights and sounds that are supportive for your personal phase, wherever you are in your cycle. So in your menstrual phase, things like screens can be really assaulting. Action movies are, I believe, are probably one of the most jarring things that you can do during your menstrual cycle. And I'm willing to bet that most of you would much rather watch a documentary, a beautiful show like Chef's Table, or a rom-com that makes you laugh and cry, or just a beautiful, inspiring movie, not a suspense, murder, action, drama, explosion, drama film, which goes with your sounds as well. And if you're actually tapping into your body and listening to what she wants, the odds are she wants more to color or read a book or journal, or take a walk in nature, or cuddle with the pups or the kittens or the boyfriend or the husband or the girlfriend or the wife or the partner or the polyamorous cuddle community, whatever it is. And that's great because that's what you should be doing. Maybe you just want to watch silly old TV shows the whole day and lay in bed and eat chocolate. Great. I'll even teach you, because we have a free bonus in YBYF, what to look for chocolate that supports your hormones. Oh my God. Yeah. We talk about smell as it relates to food, but we also talk about smell and essential oils. Often when we have our period, we need calming things like ylang ylang and lavender. Clary sage is very often a favorite for women in their menstrual phase. And since you can't use it when you're pregnant, there is kind of no better time to use it than when you're in your menstrual phase. It's actually used to help women with pain in childbirth, which tells you just how powerful of an essential oil it is. And if you've ever bought any of the essential oil women's blends, they all have clary sage in them, if you can get what's in them. I know doTERRA shares what's in the blends with their people. I am not a representative of any of them, but I've looked at theirs, and all of their female blends have clary sage in them because it's really amazingly powerful for women. So when you're pulling a bath for your menstrual phase, why not add some ylang ylang and some lavender and some rose petals? Why would you not do that? Unless you have like a skin allergy or sensitivity or something. But you know what I'm saying? Why would you not take that time to nourish your body, your heart, your mind, your womb, and your soul? Because you've been told that you're not allowed to do that, because that's selfish, because that's not how a real man gets work done, because that's not how to man up, because that's what a pussy would do. Well, all I have to say about that is that if you have a problem with doing things the way a pussy should do them, go get this book. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. You should ovary up. Be part of the ovary gang. Ovary gang. We have our own gang signs, guys. Seriously. You should be nourishing yourself. This is what you really should be doing. It's what you need to be doing. And I want you to know that we do this in the program with every phase of the cycle. And then we talk about how to apply this to our business. So we talk about how to balance our hormones through our 6 senses. We talk about foods and recipes and all those good self-care nourishing things. We talk about why we're programmed to not be able to do them. And then we get over it and do it. Because you have to do it at the end of the day. That's the important part, is to do it. So we turn PMS, pissed off, moody, and stressed, into planning your month strategically. That's what we do for the next part. So our next call in YBYF would be an in-depth look into how to use your PMS in a good way. And I use PMS loosely because it shouldn't be pissed off, moody, and stressed. It should be planning your month strategically. You've got this amazing time in these phases to sit down and plan. And you can do it when you know how to plan. So one of the things that I'm gonna just share a little bit of how to use your menstrual cycle in your business. And we talked about how your writing, we've already used the example of writing, so let's just stick with it. So we talked about how your writing goes up and down during your menstrual phase. And we learned at the beginning of this call that your estrogen goes down right before your menstrual phase. We learned that according to that study, we know that our verbal skills go down with our estrogen levels as that decreases, which is at the beginning of your menstrual cycle. So you're going into your menstrual phase with low estrogen, which means the low verbal skills, which is fine because that's not what you're going to do right now, but you are going to write in this phase. What you're going to do is you're going to dream during this phase. You're in your menstrual cycle. We talked about how you can use it to see what your business needs. You're going to mind map. You're going to journal. You're going to draw. You're going to work it out. You're going to mind map your menstrual phase. That's how you're gonna mind map your business. So I wanna show you guys my actual planner. And I am gonna tell you right now that this planner is fucking phenomenal. Yes, you can get it. And I'm actually gonna give away a PDF copy to somebody who signs up for the pre-sale of Your Business, Your Flow. So if you sign up, you could get a free copy of my guide of my planner here. So this was year 1. I did it horizontally here. But this is what I did during my period. I did this part of my planner during my period. I looked at, what do I want to do? I want to do all of these things. I want to have community, right? So I started the Red Circle Facebook group with everybody in it, and it was amazing. I want to do a Tai Chi weekend, but instead I taught a Tai Chi webinar yesterday, so we'll call that one accomplished. I wanted to have a home, but that hasn't worked out yet, and I'm kind of okay with it because being a nomad has been sort of rad, and I've been able to deliver so much more to my people because I don't have that overhead that I'm kind of okay with that trade-off. But that is on the list for next year. To have a profitable business, did it, nailed it, love it. I'm making money. I'm making already, and we still have 2 months left. I'm making, let's see, last year I made 16 times more than I did the year before, and this year is shaping up to look just the same. So it's a pretty awesome rate of influence there, right? So profitable business, great. Have been doing that, love it. Have been not only making my ends meet, but putting stuff into the savings account for the future home. I've scheduled a vacation. I'm taking one next month in November. My family is coming into San Diego, and we're all taking a week to chillax and enjoy ourselves. And I took a vacation at the beginning of the year for my brother's wedding. So I was 2 vacations, and I planned a vacation in January where my best friend and I and everyone else that we can get together are gonna go to Tulum, Mexico, and just, I don't know, drink margaritas, eat tacos, and snorkel for 9 days. I mean, why wouldn't I, right? Okay, so, and I wanna do the Red Summit. That's on the list. That's on the list for the spring of next year. I did that. I also did these, right? My lifetime goal is not totally filled out because I've got a lot of I don't knows in there. But I did that during my menstrual phase, right? Because that's the dreaming phase. That's the logic, open, okay, that makes sense phase. As I came out of that and into more of the planning phases, I started breaking it down. The 1-year goals, the top 3 goals I have for it. YBYF being one of them. And then we broke it down even further as I got further into my menstrual phase for the year. What is each month gonna look like? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna break it down quarterly? How am I gonna break those quarters down into months? If you want to have a successful business, you gotta do this. I know, I believe me, I know. I'm so resistant to structure and planning and all of these things, but as soon as I started doing it with my menstrual cycle in mind, I found a lot of joy in planning it out. And because I have this amazing Taoist meditation practice and Tai Chi, I also know how to go with the flow. And I've learned how to be flexible, to be a tree in the wind. Bend but do not break. So this is just a little glimpse into what it looks like. And I want to share with you guys my calendar, which I'm going to, if you don't already have, you might not, but you might already have it. This is my calendar that I use right here. I do my vision day, that's circled in red. That's the very beginning of my period. This is the big, I wonder if I can make this even bigger for you guys. Yeah, there we go. This is how you look at a month and you plan it out. What do you need to get done? When do you need to get it done? When are you going to be in this phase? So you see how I have the red line, that's the menstrual phase, the green line, the follicular phase, the orange is ovulation, the purple is luteal. This is actually a calendar from my own personal life. So this is my phases here. How do you sit back? So we talked about how during the menstrual phase, you need to connect back into your vision. Are there obstacles? Is there something blocking your path? Why? What's going on? Why? You want to answer that why question. So you can see this is how I use it. And yes, I will be absolutely happy to share this with you guys. Cool. With you guys as just a happy, here you go. And the blank calendar as well. And it just has, color in, fill in the blanks, as well as my menstrual chart, which is a coloring mandala, charting mandala, and that also I'm going to send to you guys for free. So I hope you can use it and start planning your business with this information. And I hope that you can see how powerful your period really is. You can see now how having that divine time, that influence can actually be such a huge asset for your business because you're streamlining, you're recentering, refocusing. You're going to be so much less susceptible to distractions, outside influences, things that can knock you off your game because you'll have a strong center because you come back to yourself every month with this bleed. It's one of the most important things you can do for your business. This is one of the things that I teach for free because I really believe it can make that big of a difference on your business. I hope to see you in your business, your flow. I want to let you know that I'm doing this as a pre-sale. We're going to actually start your business, your flow in January. But if you sign up for your business, your flow now, it's already, the doors are open. If you sign up for your business, your flow now, before the doors close, which they will close before the end of October, you sign up, you're going to get 2 months free of my Transcendence group. I'm doing this for November and December. Totally free if you buy the YBYF pre-sale. I want you to know that I'm doing the pre-sale at the early bird price, so you're not going to get screwed over later by you could have gotten it for $100 less or anything. You're getting this at the early bird price, so don't worry about it. It's not going to be cheaper down the line. It's only going to be more expensive. You're going to get 2 months free in the Transcendence group. We're going to learn advanced meditation techniques. We're going to plan 2017, all of the big rocks that we want to get accomplished like you saw on mine. You're going to get that page of your own to write out everything. We're going to plan the first 90 days of 2017 so that you know what you're going to do and you're not going to have to figure it out on New Year's Day. You're going to actually go into 2017 like the rock star that I know that you are, ready to be a lady boss and take the world by the ovaries, right? We're going to spend this time actually navigating the holidays as a team. We'll have lots of food tips and ideas for navigating parties and drunk people, and you'll have a safe space to come back to and be in, especially when the holidays rear their ugly heads and you've got the in-laws and the business parties and the partners' business parties and all this crap that you don't want to do and you don't want to deal with and that normally you aren't good to your body in order to cope. And I know, because last year I moved 6 times. New Year's Eve, I was moving out of my apartment because it was, gentrification and evicted so that they could charge $1,200 more a month for my really, honestly, kind of shitty space. I don't know why anyone would pay $3,200 a month to live there, but okay. So I was officially going to be homeless. And what did I do? I fell asleep at 11:30. Miserable, sad. And I got up the next day and I think I drank a bottle of champagne on New Year's Day. That's not supportive. So instead, we're going to go into this new year supported. We're going to have a place to go and people to talk to. We're going to have a space that is for us, that is private, that is safe, that is available. We're going to learn techniques to do it. We're going to ground and root in meditation, in our self-confidence, because we're going to have amazing bonuses, believe me. We're going to have one bonus that even teaches us how to wire our brains. Yeah, you talk about taking 2017 to the next level. We're going to wire our brains to make it successful. We're going to go into 2017 and we're going to start your business year flow at the very beginning of January. And we're going to already know what our goals are. We're going to know what we want to accomplish. We're going to learn how to support ourselves while we do it. You're going to spend 3 months doing YBYF, your business year flow, with me, holding your hand the whole way through your 90-day plan, learning how to support yourself as you go. It's going to be the most amazing 2017. It's going to be the most amazing year of your life. If you do it, if you come and you stick with it and you start with this pre-sale and you go right into the Transcendence group, right into your business year flow, you're going to have the most amazing year next year for your business and for your life and for your period and your hormones and your PMS that you've ever had in your entire life. And I can say it with confidence because I've done it. And I can say it with confidence because I've done it with 2 groups of women this year in this very same format and program. And I can show you their testimonials so you know that it's amazing. And I cannot wait to get started with you. I also want you to know that I'm going to limit the class size. I don't want this to be one of those things where people get lost. I am a very fierce protector of my people. And I feel like when it gets too big, people get lost. And I don't want anyone to get lost. So I have a few incentives for you. One is if you're part of the YBYF pre-sale, you're getting it for the early bird price. The second is you're getting the Transcendence group for free. The third is if you want to do YBYF and you need the payment plan option, you actually get 2 extra months because you get the Transcendence group time. So if you want to join YBYF with the payment plan, it's going to be just a hair over $100 a month. Yeah, it's never going to be like that again. I mean, this is just divine timing as far as I'm concerned. That's a steal. You're also going to get a free bonus during the Transcendence group, at least one, and it's going to be amazing. And Trudy and I have already talked about it. And it's probably going to be a pretty long one because it's going to go really deep into what you really can do with your brain and training yourself and training your brain and changing the neural pathways to get rid of crappy old habits and implement really good new habits. I'm going to teach you the 5 animals, which is a Taoist meditation that clears your main meridian channels and opens up the major joints in your body, like your shoulders, your spine, your hips. I'm going to teach you some of my absolute favorite meditation techniques in Taoist philosophy, like Qigong and Nigong. Nigong is actually your internal qi energy practice. Qigong is growing it so that you can influence other people. So I'm an advanced Qigong practitioner in order to be able to manipulate your qi with mine. That's an external, right? Nigong is internal. It's building your own qi. And in fact, in Taoist philosophy, you use the practice of Nigong to achieve immortality. It's kind of a cool, like, fun, different outlook on the afterlife. But it's fun, and we'll talk about it because it's kind of cool, and it can't hurt to try, right? So we'll talk about that. We're going to do a live group call to plan 2017, and we're going to do a live group call to plan our first 90 days. We're going to stream into our Facebook group, and everyone's going to be invited to. You're going to be able to run your plans, your ideas, your programs, ask for tips and marketing and all of these good things within the group. And we're going to be there to support each other. And I want you to know that if you join this group, one of the things that you're committing to is being a supportive person for the other women in the group. So if you decide to do your business, your flow, and you become part of our sisterhood, when we go into this and your sisters ask you for help or advice, you're going to give it. And then you're going to ask for help and advice, and you're going to confidently know that your sisters are going to help, and they're going to be there, and they're going to give it. And then when we go into next year and we start actually doing our plans and we start promoting ourselves, we're going to help promote each other. So part of being in this group is that you're going to be able to ask for people to help promote your products, your services, provide bonuses for each other. I just closed out your business, your flow for this year. And what do you think I did? I asked them to give me their pitches for bonuses. Who do I want to get my bonuses for my group from? My girls, my YBYF girls. That's who I want my bonuses to come from. They're going to give me bonuses for the next round. You cannot get a better, more amazing group of women. So I hope that you will see all of this amazing value and realize that this could easily be a 1997 program, but it's not. And at this point, it won't be for a couple more years, maybe. I'm serious. This is the signature program. This is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and it's going to get bigger and bigger every year, and it's going to get more expensive because it's going to be harder for me to do. So I want you guys to know that getting in now is super smart, and you're getting just so much freaking value right now. So I hope that at the end of this, you feel empowered. You see that your period is an actual diagnostic tool. You see that it can help you keep in balance. You see that your feminine is actually your asset in your business, not a detriment. You see that the masculine is actually causing you stress, overwhelm, exhaustion, fatigue, imbalance, mood swings, cramps, period pains, bloating, backaches. I can keep going. All right. I hope that you see that your period is actually one of the most powerful parts of your business. I hope you see how you can use your period for your business to stay on track, clear, focused, controlled, concise, put together. I hope you can see that that time is not best spent in pain, miserable, hiding, not doing. I hope that you can see that that time is really best spent clearing out the junk, making space for the growth, and then figuring out what that growth needs to be for your business, your tribe, your people, and you. What do you want to do? What do you want to deliver? What do they need? Give that to them. This is the time to figure it out. I hope you can see that the question why is your power question during this time of your phase, of your cycles. And I hope you can see that joining YBYF is going to be one of the smartest decisions you make for your 2017, because it's going to set up your business for the rest of your life in a very powerful, empowered, feminine, divine way. All right, guys. I love you from the bottom of my womb because it's deeper than my heart. I love you very, very, very much. I cannot wait to see you. Cannot wait to see you in your business, your flow. And if you're ready to do it, which I really hope you are, head on over to theperiodcoach.com/YBYF. It's a great page. It's going to show you almost everything that's going to be available for next year. There's going to be more bonuses that are listed there because I don't have them all in yet. Some of my girls are just starting their pitches right now. But you're going to get all those bonuses that are listed there, plus a whole bunch more. And I cannot wait to see you on the inside of the Transcendence group. We're going to get started at the beginning of November. So head on over and get in there now so we can get started now. I know, I am excited. I'm just so excited. All right. I love you guys. I wanted to keep this under an hour, and we're only 6 minutes over, so I feel like that's an accomplishment. Thank you so much for being part of this. Remember to go to theperiodcoach.com/YBYF and join us today. Bye, guys.